Jalen Suggs.
I do think Klay could ingratiate himself very well in the Orlando community, though. Like, could you imagine him hanging out with Mickey Mouse? Bring Rocco there to Disney World. Come hang out. Go to they have like the safari there and stuff like that. Klay would be all about the Orlando lifestyle.
I'm just laughing. Folks. If you're listening on your car
one of those
radios,
Instagram models.
Stop.
Don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. But I'm just laughing because I love our YouTube audience, and for everybody listening to their car radios, I love you guys too, and everybody watching on Twitch and Twitter. And you talk about the disrespect, man, of a 4-time legend. I am crying at the names that people are bestowing on to Klay Thompson.
Is he getting roasted? Is he getting morning roasted right now?
He's getting roasted.
Why Klay though? Like, no, let's get into this real quick.
Here's what Brandon Kravitz said.
Yeah.
If Klay ends up with Orlando, I'm going to do backflips. Don't get it twisted. But I don't think it's the best move. I think Malik Monk is closer to that top echelon sort of decision for this team. So he prefers Malik Monk. But he ain't mad at Klay Thompson because Orlando, if they do it right, if they move off some good players, the Jonathan Isaac, they have a team option for $17 million. He's been hurt. I would decline that option. You got $32 million stored up. Orlando could have some major cap space where they can get 2 big-time players.
And they're going to have to overspend a little bit. So I heard Brandon saying, you know what, if it's $25 million a year price point, maybe that's too rich for them, but maybe you have to, dip into that premium, if you will, and overspend to get guys like a Klay or a Malik Monk. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things shake out. June 30th is when the NBA free agency period begins, Bonta, and it's going to be the talk for the next month and a half of Klay Thompson. What will they do? What will the Golden State Warriors do or not do?
Yeah.
Again, we were talking about it yesterday. Is it more likely that Klay moves on from the Warriors with Nick Friedel? We were talking about that, cousin Nick, Odyssey NBA insider. Is it more likely that Klay moves on or the Warriors move off of him? So that's going to be the name of the game the next month or so. And man, why does he get so much hate right now? That's what's kind of bothering me. And maybe it's just social, but this guy has been nothing but class in the community and within the organization for his entire tenure. I love Klay Thompson. America loves Klay Thompson. They have a guy on the team.
No.
All due respect, he's getting more love, and he punched one of his own teammates in the face. Come on. Throw your arms around a guy you can actually root for and want your daughter to date in Klay Thompson. Come on, man. I just don't get it. I don't.
Here's
from someone that's not a Warriors fan.
Yeah, no, you're preaching to the choir. I'm not even going to get into it. And trust me, I deal with some of these idiots every single day, but it's all good. Brandon Kravitz, 96-3 the game in Orlando. Here's what Brandon Kravitz had to say about Klay Thompson.
I threw out a poll yesterday on my personal Twitter account. I was curious what people thought about the player that is being discussed down here that you want the least. I threw Klay Thompson on there. D'Angelo Russell has a player option that he's probably going to decline. That's a good three-point shooter that's been discussed. Trae Young, maybe the Hawks want to move off of him because it's just not working. And Paul George is a name that's been rumored by Ramona Shelburne, so that's not just plucking a name out of thin air.
Right.
And second place on the voting, if people understood the question properly, which is who do you want the least, was Klay Thompson. It was D'Angelo Russell 1, Klay Thompson 2, and they were pretty neck and neck. So not that that's scientific, but I think it does give us a good idea of it. I think enough fans in this town understand that great name, great legacy, tremendous talent, but is he worth what you would have to pay him given where he is in his career?
That's Brandon Kravitz on Klay Thompson. Now, I do wonder if the Warriors and Klay don't meet up on the deal and it doesn't happen. Is Moses Moody ready for that starting spot? I like Moses Moody. But does the nation feel like Moses Moody is ready for a big-time promotion with the Golden State Warriors? Because there's a big void to fill. And those are not easy shoes to fill when it comes to Klay Thompson. I hear Steiny all the time talk about Steph Curry. Who's got to replace Steph Curry? Those won't be easy shoes to fill either.
No.
That's going to be tough.
You can't replace those shoes.
But who's going to replace Klay Thompson? It's an underrated big pair of shoes to fill. Sneaky big, right?
Yes.
So is Moses Moody, from what you see from Moses Moody, Dub Nation, 888-957-9570. Because that's going younger. We keep talking about the NBA playoff motto, right? 2024, out with the old, in with the new. And that's what these playoffs have been about. It's with the new wave of NBA superstars, the new wave of talent in the NBA. The Anthony Edwards, the SGAs, the Lucas. Kyrie's been around for a long time, but there's a lot of newness to this NBA postseason. A lot of things we've seen differently. There's no LeBron. There's no KD. There's no Harden. There's no Paul George. There's no Steph right now in these playoffs.
Really is a changing of the guard right now.
So with the Giants, we're thinking about the Giants, and they got a lot of older players, and we want to see the newness. We want to see the youngsters. We're Warrior fans. Are we ready to see the youngsters? Are we ready for Moses Moody to get the start to see what he has? Because we really don't know who he is quite yet after 3 years of his NBA career.
Well, that all sounds well and good, but you better be ready for some growing pains. Like, he's 21 years old, and I know he's been playing the last couple of years, and he's, in the playoffs last year when he came up and, he had to play in that first-round series at times, spot playing here and there. He showed that, he was up for the challenge, but he's not playing as much now, and he's going to be having a larger role you think he's going to take over for Klay Thompson. That's very difficult. And now the fans, I'm having a hard time figuring out where the fans are on this, because if you want to move off of Klay and you want to bring in Moody, I get it. But you also have to deal with the growing pains of you're probably not going to be a legit contender if you're expecting major minutes all season long from Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Brandon Pajemski, right, Trace Jackson-Davis, Steph, Draymond. Like, that's not going to be competitive towards those top teams.
We don't know that, though. We don't know that because there's a process.
I'm seeing the players right now, Bonta, with Oklahoma City.
But we haven't seen Kuminga and Moody get this runway. When we did see Kuminga get the runway, he got you 20. And he became one of your best players on this roster. Here's my thing. And look, they're playing at elite levels, all NBA levels. I get that. Asking Moses Moody to play at an all NBA level is ridiculous. But we haven't seen them yet. There's a process to it. Hell, we all forget there's a process to Steph, Klay, and Dre. They didn't win right away. They had to take their bumps in the road, especially Steph.
Yes.
And then they finally got to the playoffs, and they go to the second round. They lose to the Spurs. They go the next year. They lose in the first round to the Clippers. They had to go through their bumps in the road, too. They had to go through their bumps in the road.
But I'm saying they have to take their bumps in the road next year, probably. And that's probably...
And it's a process.
That is a process. And are Warriors fans okay with that? Because I think a lot of Warriors fans are feeling like if they have the perfect offseason, whatever that looks like, they could be back into title contention. And I just don't know if that's a reasonable, scenario for them.
So what if I told you...
And what is the perfect offseason for the Warriors?
What if I told you, say next season, right? They go with Moody and Kuminga. They elevate their roles. Pajemski and TJD, they're also playing as well as they did last year. They elevate a little bit. They add something to their game. Pajemski becomes a better spot-up shooter. Moses Moody becomes a better spot-up shooter, and he does a lot more things with the ball in his hands or whatnot. He becomes more aggressive. Kuminga adds something to his game, but they lose in the second round. So they lose it into the second round. But okay, Moody popped. Kuminga popped. I think Warrior fans will be okay with that. If they can't win a championship next season, I think Warrior fans would be okay knowing, okay, at least I know I got some ballers in JK, Moody, Pods, and TJD. And maybe they can help Steph out in 2 years, because I get that's the timeline.
Yeah.
You want to maximize Steph's window.
And
we feel like Steph has about three, at least, elite years left, although he did play elite basketball post All-Star break.
Well, that's the thing. Stephen Curry's the name I keep coming up with, because that's what fans always pivot to. Oh, it was a wasted Stephen Curry. Or, oh, you wasted this, you wasted that. Well, you know what? He's getting older. This is what age looks like, and this is what happens in the NBA. Guys like LeBron James and Stephen Curry, I think they've been fooling everyone. Hell, Tom Brady, that's the exception. That is not the norm, Bonta. Usually, it looks like how it ended with Kobe's career with the Lakers.
Yeah.
He had a major injury, and you know what? He wasn't the player he used to be. And then they made some bad draft picks. They made bad free agency moves, and that's what happened. So with the Warriors, they actually have some good young players, and that's the thing. I'm willing to go all in on the youth movement next year. I just need Warriors fans to be realistic with where they are at in the rest of the league, whether that be the Western Conference, the Eastern Conference. They are a tier below right now, and not just the Warriors. This is the same for the Lakers, and this is the same for the Phoenix Suns right now. There is a tier level happening right now, and the Warriors are kind of in that middle tier area where they can be good. Listen, they had a good season by record standings. Mm-hmm. It was just that everyone else was great.
Everybody else was better. I mean, they won 46 games, but You know, how much better were they? They were the smallest team in the league. And you look at these playoffs, you better play big. You better have some size and athleticism. And the Warriors are one of the least athletic teams in the league. So you definitely have to get more athletic. That is number one to me. You have to get more athletic in the backcourt. You have to get more athletic in the front court. Obviously, you need two-way players. You don't have two-way players, you're not going to have a big chance to succeed in the playoffs in today's day and age. You look at Minnesota, you look at OKC, these guys got two-way stars. You know, lockdown defenders, guys who can hit the open three. You got to get some size up in the front court. How you gonna navigate Karl-Anthony Towns, Naz Reid, and Gobert? How you gonna navigate around Chet Holmgren, who plays up to his size? How you gonna navigate with the young guys in Dallas? Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively III. Like, these dudes are ballers, man. And the Warriors don't have that size and athleticism right now. So how do you do that?
And I'm looking at teams that wouldn't even make the playoffs, like a guy like Şengün over in Houston. I'm looking at a guy like Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio. Like, that's also another layer to this. It's not just the teams in front of you. It's the teams behind you that are trying to move past you right now.
Grizzlies.